But I want to go back to Florida here.
Yep.
And I want to go back to Edmonton. Game 7 tomorrow. I do want to say that I said Oilers in 7.
I think I had Panthers in 6.
So I'm the only one, I think, on this panel who is still in this, right?
I had Oilers in 6. Adam had Oilers in 7. Steve had Panthers in 6. Yeah.
Damn.
So
damn.
Now we make the final game prediction because we got to get it.
Nah.
Well, I need to know.
What do you mean, no?
I don't. I've been
Tell
so
me who's
I've
gonna
been
win this
so
game.
bad at predictions these playoffs.
That doesn't matter. Who cares? It's just
you know
prediction.
who's going to win? The referees.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night's going to be a big ref night.
Jesse.
A linesman's going to make a bad call from the other end of the ice. He's going to fake drop the puck a lot. He's going to be like, everybody's watching. Watch me kick this guy in the face-off circle.
Mom and Dad. Look,
Now,
Mom and Dad. I'm fake dropping the puck, Mom and Dad. Look, it's me. All right. Anyway.
Now, wait. Okay, let's make a prediction on this before we do a final score prediction.
How many fake drops?
Well, what's going to happen in terms of penalties? And I'm not going to do an over-under for penalties. I'm going to give you 2 options because there are only 2 options.
Give it to me.
Number 1, both teams get exactly 1 power play in the first period. Number 2, one team gets 1 power play in the first period. The other team gets 1 power play in the second period. There will be no third period penalties.
I think that's the most likely.
The second one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the side of 1 in the second period, 1 in the first.
Yep.
Jesse, what do you got?
I think we get a third period power play.
You are nuts!
Yeah. You're out of your mind.
You know
Jesse.
why? Because I was watching the Steve Dangle stream. I was in there for all right. 2 hours and whatever. And there's one point where you said there's going to be no more penalties. And then somebody on the ice took a dumb penalty that was so egregious the ref had to call it.
Was it Stenlund, I think?
There was in the third period, there's Derek Ryan high sticking, Stenlund interference on Draisaitl, and then a couple of misconducts at the very end. So there's 2 power plays in that third period. These 2 teams, I mean, I don't want to discredit how they've gotten here.
They're violent.
These 2 teams are filled with guys who take dumb penalties.
Yes.
And they've done it consistently these playoffs. Whether it's, I'm not going to throw guys under the bus. Somebody on the team, somebody on either of these sides is going to take, I think, a third period penalty that's going to be so bad, the ref has to call it. And they're going to hate themselves for having to call it because no ref wants to call a third period Game 7 Stanley Cup final power play. So there you go.
Okay,
that's my prediction.
Jesse, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you go... The last Game 7 we got was 2019 Blues Bruins. Forget the final score. No one cares about any of that. I want to know
overtime, right?
No, the Blues spanked them.
What was the last overtime Game 7? Because we had one.
It was like overtime Game 7 in the final. It was like in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Like
maybe
that.
I'm just thinking about cup clinching overtime.
Cup clinching.
I'm distracting. Good. Continue your point.
Well, anyway, Game 7 overtime, Game 7 Stanley Cup final. Last one was 2019 Blues Bruins. I want to know how the penalties shook out in that game.
You're gonna laugh.
Oh no!
You're gonna laugh.
No way.
It was just 1.
Colton Parayko.
You bum.
It
was over the glass.
It was a call that they had to call. It wasn't something. It wasn't an infraction on another player. Colton Parayko at 7:57 of the first period was called for an over-the-glass penalty, a delay of game penalty, and he got 2 minutes. And that was the only penalty they called because no infraction on the ice took place in the rest of the game, guys. Right? Nobody committed a penalty on another player.
I absolutely
Steve, you nailed this.
I nailed it. Now I'm trying to think of the last one.
Wow.
What was the last? The last Game 7 in the Cup final before that, I think, was 2011 with
Canucks. Yeah,
Canucks and Bruins.
Yeah,
look it up.
Let me check this.
Look it up.
So,
they're not calling anything, Jesse. I will die on this hill. They're not calling anything.
What was the last infraction on a player in a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup?
That's
final?
A good question.
Let's see. If
Here's the deal,
Bruins.
though. I think that these, you go back all the way to 2011. This was less of a concern back then. We hadn't figured it out quite yet.
What do you mean?
Well, because back, we really didn't talk about
Oh, like
the
game
refereeing in the
management?
playoffs.
No.
Until it was like, oh wow, this is really bad. and I think there was a definitive change somewhere around 2015, 2016, where it really did become about game management. That to me is where it really kicked into overdrive.
People yelled at their TVs for years and years, and then Twitter came.
And you could see replays.
And you could see replays.
So that's why in 2011, I think the refs wouldn't, because one of the things that Dave Jackson talks about a lot is, well, the refs had to be brave to make a call like that.
No.
I've seen him tweet that, and it's like, I'm not taking shots at Dave. What I'm saying is these guys legitimately are worried about something. And the something they're worried about is I make a call and it decides the game and I wear the horns forever.
Sure.
Which is your job. It's your job.
Exactly.
Which is why it's easier. It's like those people that can never make a decision. It's like, how about I just don't make a decision? What if I just put my skates on? It's the last day of school, and you guys play the fucking game, and I'll put my hand up a few times.
What do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? You know what? I just want to starve. Like,
so
just
I bet Game 7, 2011.
Yeah.
I bet there were a couple penalties called, and I bet they were legitimate because it was less of a thing back then. There was less, quote unquote, at stake, less social media.
June 15th, 2011, the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, Boston won 4-0. In that game, we had 3 penalties. Milan Lucic, actually, I start from the top.
Yeah.
Second period, Boston's Zdeno Chara was called for interference.
So
16:07 of that second period.
So 36 minutes into the game.
Yep.
First infraction.
Uh-huh.
Third period, Jannik Hansen was called for interference. And then at 11:34, the most recent penalty called for an infraction on another player, Milan Lucic, was called for hooking at 11:34 of the third period of Game 7.
What was the score when that penalty was called against the Bruins? Because that's important. Scroll up. It was 3-0.
It was, 3-0.
3-0.
Nothing to lose.
You're a little braver making that call because it's 3-0. Adam, you know what screwed it up for refs? Because for years and years, we yelled at our TVs. What screwed it up for refs was not necessarily the dawn of social media. What screwed it up for refs was proof. Now we have proof, the quickest, most easily accessible proof in the history of sports. That's why we think they're bad.
The GIF is their worst nightmare.
Worst nightmare.
You think about when Twitter switched from TwitPic and YFrog to having a native player that was right on the screen, so you could see the drop down video.
Yep.
People were complaining about it at the time. I don't want Twitter to become my YouTube. I remember people used to say that, and I'd be like, you just wait. You're going to like the video thing. And here we are liking it.
Here we are liking
it. It's those videos in real time. It's the tic-tac-toe Mars that are grabbing every clip from every game and throwing them up and whatever. That is the stuff that drives people crazy now. And here's the thing. You can see it as many times as you want. You might see that replay once if you only had access to the broadcast.
Here's them being wrong. Here's them being wrong from the side.
And you don't even have to have watched the game to go, man, that's wrong.
Yeah. Look at that. Right straight to my phone.
There will be 2 penalties called, one in the first, one in the second.
From a phone up into space and down onto my phone again. Here it is being wrong forever.
I wish I could bet on this.
Penalties?
I would throw $5 on tomorrow night that we get a third period penalty.
Wow.
Yeah. That's if that was an option that somebody allowed me to bet on, I'd throw $5 on that.
Game 7, Leafs Bruins. Like that's a Game 7. How many penalties were there?
Do you want to keep
Cup final,
you want to keep playing the game?
No, we don't got to keep playing it.
Yeah, we don't.
But like Stanley Cup Final Game 7, this is the final boss of legal murder. You can do whatever you want. And there will be one. My final bet.
Yeah.
One call in the first for one team, one call in the second for another team. That's it.
Okay, so that's you're locking it in.
Yes. Can I put an asterisk?
No.
Bullshit at the end of the game where they take them both.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Okay, no, I laughed at you too quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good asterisk.
Yeah, asterisk. They do some bullshit and they take them both, which doesn't result in a penalty for any or power play for anyone. That doesn't count.
At the end of game 6, there was 2 misconducts called. Like those
Doesn't count.
We're not counting those.
Doesn't count.
No, 100% agreed. Adam, what is your final prediction on when the penalties are doled out in game 7?
Penalty in the first, and it will be against the Oilers.
Oh, you're going real specific.
Yeah, it'll go against the Oilers, and it'll be some dumb thing that like Fogle or Holloway end up getting their stick in somewhere stupid, and that's what it'll end up being. That or McLeod. It'll be one of those because you're not going to call Connor McDavid. You're not going to call Leon Draisaitl.
You're dumping them.
And then it's going to be and then for Florida, it's going to be like Kulikov, and it's going to be
Puck over the glass.
Yeah, something stupid. I think it'll be a legit.
You're talking
call.
in, like infractions.
It'll be like a legit, he tried to lift his stick and tapped his hands. Mm-hmm. So it's a what do they call that? They call that like a slashing, even though when you're going up, like interference, tripping, like it's weird. Like,
sometimes it ends up as a high stick.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Slashing, hooking, high stick.
It'll be one of those
stick infractions,
sticky things.
Tripping.
This is why I remember 2012. Adam Henrique was in this series. This was the last time that a team forced Game 6 after being down 3-0. The Kings and Devils. Steve Bernier of the Devils hit one of the Kings, I don't remember who, from behind in the first period. And he got 5 in a game. And like I remember, like it was early days of Twitter, but like one of the arguments was like, okay, but they're breathing. Like, dude, this is an elimination game in the Stanley Cup final. You're kicking someone out 5 in a game in the first period.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's what, like that Fogle one where they called the penalty on Lusterine, and I'm like, well, it is game 1.
Yeah.
Game 7? You can take a guy's head half off. And I think you'll be A-okay.
Absolutely. So
my prediction.
Your prediction.
I also get to play in the game. Is 4 total penalties. I think at least one of them comes in the third period.
Okay. All right. 4 total penalties. Now, are they tied 2-2 or is there 3-1 on this?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it'll be 2-2.
Okay.
I think they'll even it up. Yeah, 2-2. But I think one of these teams.
What period gets a double penalty call?
The second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1-2-1.
1-2-1.
I like that we're breaking this down on this level, by the way. I'm still going to ask you guys, give me your prediction, team that wins and the score they win it by. Who wins the cup, guys? It's down to the last game. Jesse and Steve, I'm sticking with mine. I'll go first because I'm the one that's actually on track with the 7-game prediction. Oilers, I think they win, and I think they win 4-3. Just like the games. They'll win 4-3 in the series like they win 4-3 in the game. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Oilers, 3-2, game winner, his 71st of the season, scored by number 18, Zach Hyman.
Oh, I love that.
Better
if it's CC, but okay.
The total goals thing is very funny.
Yeah,
I called it.
Zach Hyman.
I called it.
But like,
Yeah, Zach Hyman having as much or more goals than Matthews this year.
It's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
And I'll give Zach Hyman the edge. His goals, the back half of his goals happened at a more important time.
Is it like playoff suspensions where goals are times 2? You know,
well,
a 1-game suspension is really a 2-game regular season suspension.
I think if you can perform in the playoff, to me, it does matter more. Goals matter more. So if they are tied, give the edge to Hyman. If this is a stat, it's not, but it's fun anyway. Anyway, so Jesse, give us your prediction.
I picked Edmonton to start the series.
Okay.
I flipped over to Florida after they went up 3-0 because I thought that was, hey, this thing's going to be over any day now. This is very obvious, but I will pick the result I want to see and my original pick of the Edmonton Oilers. I think they get it done tomorrow night and we get the greatest choke job in NHL history and the most dramatic comeback because we're focusing on the choke, but it's also the greatest comeback in NHL history. And that'll just cement McDavid's legacy, like put him in the Hall of Fame on Tuesday if you want. I think the induction ceremony or the Hall of Fame night is on Tuesday night. Put him there, build his bust right now.
1,000 points next season.
Yeah, like it's going to be unbelievable if this thing gets done. So I'm going to say a 4-1 Edmonton victory.